Uncle Trump has one shot, one opportunity to stop the death of America. One moment with the freedom of vengeance. But what do you win, y'all? Vivek's palms are sweaty, six big job.
Greetings, conversationalists from across the fruited plain. This is the MAGA Kingdom Report for March 10th, 2025. This is show number 10. I'm your host, Frank Scavo, along with Anastasia Theodoropoulos and Rich Panzer. And in this episode, we have President Trump's joint session speech. What was it really about? Then we go into Riley Gaines' response to Trump's speech. Then we look at Pennsylvanians responding to the Trump speech on CNN, Communist News Network. Dems leaked the truth about Trump, and this is in their own words. The Democratic narrative on Trump, British response to Trump, which is priceless. And then RFK Jr.'s breakdown on the Ukraine-Russian war. Then we have our man on the street, Chris Riley, who has an interview with Julie DeVore, frontline COVID hero or felon. Don't forget, they still want to lock you down. Then we have Spotlight on AI. Are humans close to extinction? Then the scripture of the week. Then we jump into the correspondence from your international reporter, myself, on the climate change and the results you'll see in the video. And then we jump into the music video Colorblind.
And we're so glad, Frank, that you're back with us again. So, folks, everyone marveled last week at President Trump's historical speech to the joint session of Congress. You couldn't tell that it was the longest speech recorded because it had so many wins. But what was the speech really about that forced CBS to report a whopping 76% approval rating from Americans? It wasn't just the wins, it was the plight of American families, all the damage that we had undergone over the last 4 years, and some more than others. In some instances, it was a reminder of the American dream, still alive and well, like this story of a young child surviving a death sentence from cancer with the aspirations of working in law enforcement. This particular video clip is taken from the different angle of what was shown live. Keep your eye at the end of the clip that exemplifies the gratitude and love and the reaction of the right, which was so right, as compared to the reaction from members on the left that metaphorically or literally left the room. Let's take a look.
I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
You know, that was great. Sean Curran, who was the Secret Service agent that jumped on top of Donald Trump immediately at the Butler assassination attempt, that's priceless. The hug, the genuine smile. I mean,
Right.
I don't think you can get better than that in America.
Yeah. And the Democrats, look at their response. They couldn't even stand up and applaud for that. And instead what they did was they responded that how dare President Trump use cancer instead of the story, the plight of this child. And, you know, they keep burying themselves, right, Richard?
The other thing is there was no race in that for a few moments. There was no race. Everyone is rooting for this kid to do well.
Absolutely.
Everyone's kid is happy to make this kid happy for for a few minutes at least, is a beautiful moment in American history. And of course, there are always haters, right?
And you know what, guys? I'm a partisan, but even if Joe Biden did that, I would have appreciated that moment for who that child was,
Right.
and how he has survived and then been honored. I don't think the Democrats ever really think of truly honoring or bestowing that honor on that young
Because
child.
they have to keep the
narrative.
racial separation narrative going.
Yeah.
That's their big game.
So, absolutely. Let's take a look at some of the other responses from famous people here and from around the world. So, Frank, what do you have for us?
Riley Gaines, who came out almost immediately and gave a response. I just happened to pick it up on X, and I met Riley Gaines in person in Scranton, Pennsylvania, along with the whole cavalcade of all the other women that were protesting men and women's sports. And let's look at Riley's clip, because what she said is absolutely spot on, because she's the one that's been deprived. She's the one that's been out there fighting to say this is not right. So here's Riley Gaines.
I attended President Trump's State of the Union address in Washington, D.C. tonight. Let me tell you what I saw. Better yet, let me tell you what I didn't see. I did not see Democrats stand and applaud a child with terminal brain cancer who was in the room. I did not see Democrats stand and applaud and honor the life and memory of young girls like Laken Riley or 12-year-old Jocelyn, who lost their lives to illegal gang members before their grieving parents who were in the room. I did not see Democrats stand and applaud an American who had been falsely and innocently imprisoned in Russia, who had recently been returned, who was in the room with his 95-year-old mother. I did not see Democrats stand and applaud a balanced budget. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But you know what I did see the Democrats stand and applaud? The only thing they stood and cheered for was Ukraine. And I don't mean peace in Ukraine, because when President Trump mentioned his efforts to end the Russian-Ukrainian war, they didn't cheer for that. They only cheered when President Trump mentioned we have given Ukraine over $350 billion in taxpayer funds. They clapped for the continued funding of war in Ukraine. The Democratic Party, and I don't mean Democrats, I mean the Democratic Party. So in terms of elected representation and certainly how left-leaning media portrays the Democrats, they're no longer American. They don't love our country. They don't love our flag. They don't love the American people. They are soulless. They are insufferable. It can only be described as immoral and evil. Tonight was proof for me that Democrats will literally stand for anything but America and its people.
She hit that out of the park.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? She did acknowledge about the women's sports, but the point that she makes about the Democratic Party, the Ukraine, that they don't stand for American values, the Democratic Party, not necessarily a Democratic voter, floored.
Well, here's another problem, right? Look who we're looking at right now, right? We're referencing Riley Gaines, who's in her early 20s, a young lady who's smart. She's your average kind of American gal. Right. And look at the way they're supporting the realistic perspective, the reasoning behind this administration, and in full view, seeing exactly what's going on and judging accordingly and not being indoctrinated. And Democrats, boy, you keep sinking yourselves over and over again, not only for today, but for tomorrow and the day after.
And for those in Riley Gaines' town, you better recruit her to run for office, please.
No, there's another issue about the Democrats. Yeah, they were clapping about giving money for the war in Ukraine, and my question is, how much of those $350 billion went to Democrat slush funds? Just asking.
That's a good
I just
point,
wanna
right?
know.
So maybe the Ukrainians aren't getting that money; somebody else is.
They don't know. Zelensky said he doesn't know where half of the money went. I have an idea where it might have gone.
Elon Musk knows and is finding out,
Elon
folks.
knows.
He posted, and of course, big balls. Now let's take a look at how the Democrats responded to President Trump. And to lead this off, we have Representative Sidney Kamlinger-Dove from California. Let's take a look, folks.
You don't care about this country, and that is unacceptable if you claim to be the President of the United States. So we are here. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to fight back, and we are going to continue to speak lies to his truth, to his stealing, and to his cheating. Thank you.
Okay, it's nice to see a Democrat tell the truth about telling lies.
Right, about telling lies. Right. It's not only Politico was funded by USAID, apparently she is, and now she's saying we're going to continue the lying.
We should do, this is going to be in a Republican campaign commercial, I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't stop there, folks, because one of the things is they have a habit of telling the truth, or
Guess what?
they're fully scripted in their narrative.
Right.
If you recall, I've always said the lying, racketeering, collusional, conspiratorial media. Now, when they put out the talking points, you have Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and Chuck Schumer immediately come out. But by the time this was over, 24 Democrat Party members had the exact same script. So if we really talk about the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, and those of the Democratic registration and persuasion, guys, this is where they put the lie together, and then they have everyone speak the lie. So then they could use that lie as a resource and say, here's the way it went down. So this is going to be great. Right. Proof is in the pudding.
Well, they want their followers to repeat after me.
Not as I do, but as I say. Exactly.
So let's take a look, because, guys, the swamp is fully exposed in the media. Enjoy.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing. Goose eggs to lower prices. Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers.
On January
He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data. Social security numbers, tax returns, health care bills. He's fired thousands of essential workers, people who help our veterans get their benefits, people fighting Ebola in Africa so it doesn't come here. He's frozen funding for vital programs that so many American families need. Cancer research, education funding, payments to family farmers, and so much worse. Why are they doing this? Trump, Musk, Doge are taking these vital services away from you for one reason only, so they can give tax breaks to their billionaires club. Their plan is awful, simply awful. Billionaires win, families lose. And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
Look, on the positive side, look, for 4 years, they had to keep their mouth shut about how bad it was under Biden. So all of a sudden, they're allowed to talk about the inflation and all those things. And blame it on Trump.
And within 40 days, like this is only 40 days in, and these guys are now worried about the price of eggs. And when you have to go far back and talk about Ebola, guys, you're grasping at straws.
It's incredible. But you know what? Now we see how the Democrats, some of the Republicans, and certainly some people within our country felt about this speech. But let's take a look at what people thought abroad. Let's take a look at Britain.
Across the pond.
Across the pond. Take a look.
Mr. President, if you are seeing this, just know that the great deplorables of the United Kingdom love you, we are with you, we stand with you, and we want you to succeed. Forget about the people in London, forget about the establishment, forget about the detractors in the fake news media. The real people out there in the United Kingdom, we love you, Mr. President!
Now, if they have the guts to come out and we love Trump in the UK, Great Britain, England, whatever they're called now, that takes a lot of guts. So if you don't think Donald Trump has a worldwide influence and will make the entire world great again, And you better re-examine your thoughts.
It's lucky there's not a new election, because Keir Starmer, I think he would
Oh,
he would
geez.
lose
After his
to
Ukraine
Donald
move?
Trump.
Yeah, right.
As long as they're having
Our
real elections.
61st state, that'll be.